Good morning. Good morning. Jabba Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in today. My name is Brandon Croucher, CEO of Delight Cafe. Please do me a favor and give yourself a big hello, hug, and love. Look in the mirror, be like, oh my God, I look sexy today. Do whatever you need, talk yourself up, but then do me a favor, throw a hello into the comments and give us all your love, because Ilse right here is our South African queen moving into her new place. Ilse, tell us a little bit about your place. It looks like you've been moving all night.
I moved the whole morning, and I packed my car like the Tetris world champion. one trip, all my stuff in that little car of mine. So when I got here, there was some kind people because I live on the top floor. So there was kind people that helped me carry up all my stuff, and I've packed out half of it, trying to find a spot for all my stuff and build myself a little office yoga spot and everything. Ooh. So yes, I'm very excited. I can't wait to sleep tonight. I am so tired.
Now, right now, just so everybody knows, you are 6 hours ahead of us. So it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon for you. It's 10 o'clock in the morning for me. But you are already through most of your Wednesday.
And I had a podcast. We did the Stone Daisy episode at 2 o'clock this afternoon, at 12 o'clock this afternoon, because the guy that we interviewed couldn't be there tonight. So luckily that's out of the way. Once I'm done, then I'm done for tonight. Then I can just quickly pack up my last stuff and meet everybody in the house, because it's like different. It's like a big house, but it's got different sections. And every section has got its own shower and room and living room and everything. So I'm right at the top.
That's awesome. Like, now, is everybody shares one living area, big area, or is it like you have your own room?
I have my own. I have my own, and everybody. I've got 2 balconies because I'm on top, so I've got 2 little balconies that I can look out on. And there's a dog, the prettiest dog. I must take you a picture. Her name is Betsy.
Oh my gosh, I love it, Betsy. Old dog, young dog.
She is a very, very well-built, muscular, brindle, boo-boo. I don't know how. It's almost like a mastiff type of dog with this big face, and they call her slobber kisses because she gives all these slobby kisses. She is too beautiful. I'll take you a picture. So I found a new friend.
I love it so much. So my parents are getting a new dog. They're getting a puppy. So this morning, my mom and I were talking, and we were talking about dog names and what we should call it. And my sister got a puppy this weekend. And what's funny about my sister's puppy is the fact that, and I say this with all love and sincerity, she wants to name the dog Hazel, which is a good name. I have no problem with it. My mom ruined it for everybody, and it was hilarious. Hilarious. She goes, oh, yeah, Hazel's a great name. So that way when you're outside, you could be like, hey, come here. Hey, sit. Hey, this. Hey, lay down. Hey, no. Hey, no. I'm like, so you abbreviated Hazel as Hey? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what do you want to name your dog, Mom? And she's like, I don't know, Hazel. And I'm like, oh my God. Mom. And then,
Hazels.
2 Hazels. That's all we need in this house is 2 of the same name of anything. It would like make my family go nuts.
I like other people's dogs. I don't think I want that kind of responsibility to look after a dog.
It's a lot of responsibility.
I've got 3 kids. I'm trying to get rid of my responsibilities. I want more.
I have no kids, and I'm trying to give people my responsibilities.
Story of our lives.
Right? It's like, God, what have you done with your life? Well, I got rid of my kids.
And then my dogs.
And then I got dogs. Well, my mom made the joke. She was funny as hell this morning. She goes, well, what would happen if, like, I think it's a good thing your dad and I have been together so long. Okay, where are you going with this, Mom? Well, if I was alone, I'd probably have, like, 100 different pets. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, oh, well, when I grew up, I had mice, I had rats, I had da-da-da-da-da. And she started going through these things, and I'm like, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. Interesting, Moo. Interesting. So my mom is one of a kind, and she actually stopped by this morning and said hello.
Hi.
I
do you say Auntie Sharon? Because in South Africa, if somebody's 10 years older than you, you have to say auntie or uncle.
Really?
But you say it in Afrikaans. It's hello oom or hello tannie.
Wait, hello worm?
Oom.
Oom.
Oom. Yes. So 2 O's and an M. Oom.
So
oom is
so
uncle.
You say oom's uncle? Damn it! Now I'm already messed up.
Oom is uncle, and tannie.
Tannie?
Tannie is auntie.
Auntie. Oh, Auntie Tannie. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Ooh-ah.
So Tannie Sharon. Hello, Tannie Sharon.
Tannie Sharon. Oh, I'm gonna tell my mom. She went in while I'm sitting there having a cup of coffee with her and goes, I'm gonna write a comment. I'm like, you can do it during the show. She's like, I'll be doing other things by then. Okay, Mom. She tunes in randomly. I never
telling you that she was there.
Right. Like, I'm like, I love you. Thank you for tuning in for a minute, Moo. I love you. We call her Moo because she doesn't want to be called Grandma in any way. So my niece called her Mooma. And I'm like, all right, cool. You're a Moo.
I can work with that.
Yeah, I've been called worse in my life. So if you're tuning in for the first time, make sure to tell us where you're tuning in from. We want to say hello to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We have Kuti coming back today. He will be here in the next 20 minutes. He's going to work Ilse and I out. We're going to talk about our juicing. Ilse, how did you do with your juicing, by the way?
I didn't do too bad, but I fell off the bus a couple of times. But every morning I just stand up and I still have my juice, but I had my coffee in between and all those things. Sorry, Kuti.
Oh, he's in the background now. He's like, I see you. I see you. Kuti, are you here? I know last time you came in early. Give me a thumbs up. Are you coming in early again because you got to leave at 10:30? Or are you coming on at 10:30?
10:30.
10:30. Love it. Thanks, buddy. Have fun with us. I look forward to seeing you in the comments. We're excited you're here. Oh, sorry. I'm too quick sometimes with my taps. Come on.
Not your time lost.
Kuti. Now, one of my favorite things with the Kuti thing is how everybody has been like messaging, like Brett Gordon. Brett has had so much fun. He goes, I got to go drink my Kuti juice. And he walks away like on camera. And I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, Brett is funny, but that one just kills me because he's like, yeah, Kuti juice. And I'm like, that's wrong.
I actually have a question for Kuti. So he must prepare for that one. Because I have a problem, so hopefully he gives me the answer that I want to hear, and then I don't feel as bad.
Give him at least a tip of what your question is. Like, good Lord,
I've got this bad habit. If I like the taste of something, I'll go overboard with it. Not overboard, but that's one thing that I'll keep on drinking. So this juice that I'm drinking, if you just get this things, yeah, it's a It's green machine juice. So you buy it like that already because I can't afford a juicer. Sorry. COVID.
So,
It's the green machine, and then it's got apple, spinach, and other fruit and vegetable blend. But it's actually very nice. They say it's almost the same as turning into Hulk. It's got this whole little thing that they wrote, yeah, that you're gonna turn into Hulk. So my question is, will I really turn green if I drink like a bottle or two of this? Because this is like a 1.5 liter. Because I'd rather drink this than water. So I just want to know how much
right
sugar.
there.
Let's see. Does that fall under energy? No. It
No.
says 7 grams. It says here, glycemic carbohydrate. What the? Of which total sugar is 7 grams, and per 250 ml, it's 17.5. So I don't know what that means. Please.
So, Kuti, give me a thumbs up if you want to come help figure this out with us so we can get better, or thumbs down. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in early to teach us about why we are eating shit and not doing the best for ourselves. Let's get ready and give a big hello to Mr. Kuti. Oop, wrong one. That one there. Boom. Kuti, how are you, my friend?
Hey, how are you? Brandon, Ilse, good to see you all again.
Hi, good morning.
Now, Ilse, ask your question because I was watching Kuti in the background and his reaction was priceless.
What's this chick doing? I don't know if you can read there. That is the...
No.
Yeah, so I can't see it. So I'll ask you as a couple questions because what you're doing is actually something that is not uncommon. So many times people are trying to do the right thing, get healthier, and they see stuff. And of course, if you see a drink that's green, you're going to presume that it's got to be good for you, right? Yeah. So, and they'll hype it up, the green machine. But if you notice, the very first thing that they tell you is in it is apples, right?
Yeah.
And remember when I told you all about juicing, I said the one thing you don't want to juice is what? Fruit, correct?
Correct.
Okay, you see, I missed the first step already.
So what you'll see is chloroform is powerful as a property. It's going to overtake the look of whatever you're juicing. So the green is going to take over whatever. So if you look at the ingredients of any packaged food, like including those bottled drinks, in order of appearance, in order of prevalence, each ingredient is listed. So read to me what the ingredients of that juice are per the ingredients, not just what they said on the label, but if we flip it over and it says ingredients, read that to me.
It says here, is it that the nutritional information?
Yeah. So
ingredients: apple juice, apple pulp, spinach juice, cucumber pulp, lemon pulp, wheatgrass, spirulina, preservatives, sodium benzoate.
Yeah, once you start getting stuff you can't pronounce,
cut it.
All right. Now, I'll say this. In all fairness, there are worse bottled juices than that out there.
Oh, okay. Thanks for making me.
That one starts. The first 2 ingredients are fruit. If you have to buy a bottled juice, my recommendation to you and anyone else that's trying to do this the right way is the first 5 ingredients that you see in any packaged food is pretty much the bulk of whatever that packaged food is made of. If in those first 5 ingredients, you see, if we're talking specifically about juicing, if you see fruit in those first 5, unless it's a lemon or a lime, then it's probably not worth your time or your money. If you're talking about just packaged foods in general, and in the first 5 ingredients, let's say a granola bar or a fitness bar, right? If the first 5 ingredients are soy, starch, sugar, and sugar comes in a trillion different words. You can, if you like, so you could have sugar itself. You could have high fructose corn syrup, the worst of them. You could have cane sugar. You could have cane juice. You could have corn syrup. You could have anything that ends in a OL, xylitol, sorbitol, mannitol, like any of those things. Yeah. You could have starch. All of those things, wheat. All of those things represent sugar. And so if you go back and look at the ingredients of any of those healthy, nutritious, so to speak, bars or energy bars, whatever the case may be, and you see those things in the ingredients, you already know that this stuff is nefarious for you. And so just going back to the juice that you had, Ilse, so you said it had 7 grams of sugar in it?
Yes. It says here 7 grams per 100 ml.
Okay, and how many mil are in that bottle?
1,500 because it's a 1.5 liter.
So 1,500. So that means 7 grams per 100, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
1,500. So that means 15 times whatever that 7 is how many grams of sugar is actually in that bottle.
Mm.
You see how they did you?
Wow.
You
did me dirty.
You see the sleight of hand? So they gave you a sugar content of like a little drop of it.
Yeah.
Like
You've already drunk more than 1/15 of that bottle. Most people will drink that whole bottle thinking I just juiced today, and you just took in 35 grams of sugar. Now, if you happen to have a bottle of soda around you, if you go grab it and tell me how much sugar is in it.
I don't. Hang
on
for a second. I've got something. I've got
I have. It's in my downstairs. I'd take me a minute to run and go get it. But like, actually, I want to hear the answer to this, and then I'll run away and get it because I know it's going to lead to another question.
So I will bet money that whatever soda you have, just plain old soda pop that you have, has somewhere between 25 and 30 grams of sugar per serving.
And it's usually
there's supposed to be a healthy juice, and it's got even more sugar.
Yeah.
They did me very dirty.
And your body sees sugar the same way, whether it's coming from soda, a cracker, cookies, or a fruit juice. Your body responds to sugar the same way, and we're addicted to sugar. So in that whole situation, you think you're doing the best. You think you're doing the right thing, and you're absolutely going down the wrong track. And that's why people at first, because there are natural ingredients in this juice, if you go from drinking coffee and soda to drinking this juice, you might see some changes because you're doing something that's healthier than what you were doing, but you're gonna hit a wall. You're gonna find yourself still going back to your coffee.
Yeah.
Because you still need that stimulant, because if you're addicted to something, that something is gonna ring through whatever it is, whatever else you're doing. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're addicted to let's say not even you. Let's say your uncle is addicted to crystal meth, right?
Oh,
you want to help him out.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, right. But hear me out. You want to help him out. So you say, you know what, Unc? I was talking to Kuti. He gave me this perfect recipe for the most healthiest but delicious dinner you'll ever eat. Come over and have dinner. I said, okay, cool. He comes over. You've got your water. You've got your veggies, fresh squeezed veggie juice. You've got a salad. And right before he digs into the salad, you say, you know what, Unc? Before you get started, let me just sprinkle a little bit of crystal meth on that salad. Now it's a salad with the green juice. I'm putting a little bit of crystal meth in your green juice. When he takes a sip of that juice and eats that salad, what do you think he tastes? What do you think his body responds to?
To the crystal meth.
Minerals, protein, enzymes, antioxidants, fiber, or crystal meth?
Definitely the crystal.
So if you're addicted to sugar and you're drinking this beautiful green juice, but you're drinking sugar and it's mainlining straight to your bloodstream, your body isn't even thinking about that nutrition. And that's why you still find yourself, I overheard you saying you still were doing your occasional coffee. That's why you're still doing coffee.
But what if you don't have a juicer? What can you?
If you don't have a juicer, you've got a couple of options. Now, I'm kind of like an all or nothing guy, although I understand the world doesn't work that way. So if you don't have a juicer, the first thing I say is figure out a way to get a juicer. If you don't have a juicer, what I would do is, we're grown people at this point. We're adults, right? As adults with fortunate enough to have jobs, anything we really want in life, we can get, right? Yeah. And I'm not even saying the juicer. I'm talking about just recreationally. There's not much that is not in your possession that you truly, truly want that you don't have. right?
Exactly.
Unless it's just out of your price range. So let's say the juicer is out of your price range. What you do is you've got a birthday coming up, right? You've got,
I do.
if you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or something, there's a gift giving opportunity some point in time during the year. And what you say is, you know what, everybody, what do you give the person who has everything? A couple gift cards that'll add up to me getting this juicer.
Great
like
point. Because you're putting yourself first, and people are going to be talking to you about what you want. That's a great idea. I love the way you say that. One of the ingredients in her drink was spirulina, and a lot of people hear that and they think positive. And now, don't get me wrong; it has its benefits at times, but it's just like a sugar, and it's going to do this.
So here's the thing: every sugar your body
that.
still responds to like it's sugar. It's not like just because it's Splenda or just because it's stevia that your body goes, it's just like, stevia is probably the least nefarious because it's plant-based. But even then, you still want to, if you have to wean yourself, if you're that addicted to sugar that you need something sweet, stevia is probably your best option. But even then, it's sort of like, again, going back to the hardcore escalation of references of addiction. If someone's addicted to heroin, they'll put them on methadone, or some kind of drugs. They won't just pull you off it. They'll step you down. You would start with some stevia and then start using less and less and less of the stevia until you don't have to use any at all. And what you'll find is once you've eliminated sugar from your system, because the thing is, all of us that just sit here and eat in the modern world, we're going to come across sugar, whether it's in our fruit or just regular fruit.
Correct.
So we won't be ever at a deficit for sugar. Most of us have too much sugar. That's why type 2 diabetes exists, because type 2 diabetes is strictly a disease condition that you eat your way into. If you have type 1 diabetes, you're born with a condition where your insulin doesn't process, et cetera, et cetera. Type 2 diabetes is strictly something that you put on yourself by what you eat.
And it's not only sweets, it's food as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But we don't know what sugar, we're not aware of how much sugar is on us. When my kid was born, for a split second, we had this, lactation specialist supposed to help with breastfeeding. And they were super, American medical system is just super, got to do it now. If the baby's not coming out, we're cutting it out. Like, it's just like everything has to happen now. And when they were talking about, because her mother wasn't breastfeeding like immediately, they're like, okay, we're gonna give the baby formula. I said, let me see the back of that formula. What the formula basically was a vitamin infused milkshake.
Really?
Yes, but baby formula is a milkshake. It's just sugar with a whole bunch of vitamins and minerals added to it. So think about this: a baby comes into the world, and the first thing you give it is a milkshake.
Crack. It's crystal meth.
It's heroin off the break.
Okay, I'm being made fun of because I did say spirulina was like a sugar. It's not. It's and all that.
It's like a plant-based. It's a plant-based thing, but stevia and that other stuff is what you were kind of getting at.
Exactly. So my question was, I knew you were not. Kuti and I, we cootied. Like, I got the cooties. I got the cooties! When you start getting it right, say it like that. I love that. So when I'm going to have a fun question for you on this. When Kuti goes out in public, because you saw the juice, you saw these other things. What does Kuti order when he's out in public? Like, do you just order water and get a lemon with it? Because a lemon in your water is a huge thing. Like, it really does.
I mean, typically, yes. I mean, because here's the thing. It's not like I don't like lemonade. But what you'll find is once you do eliminate sugar from your system and you start to clean it out, you will understand what foods actually taste like. I used to be the kind of cat that when I ate a meal, I had to see the salt on it to believe it was there. So before I even ate, I would just sprinkle salt until I could see it. You get what I'm saying? It's nothing about it now, but I used to be that guy. My mom was like, at least taste your food. I'm like, nah, because your taste buds are so desensitized because you're just addicted to all this stuff. Once you start to clean that stuff out, you start to realize like, oh, that's why they call these peppers sweet peppers, or that's why they call these, sugar snap peas, because they're actually sweet. You just don't realize it because you've got so much sugar in your system you can't taste it. Think about it. If you eat like some M&Ms. The first M&M you eat, you taste M&M, candy coated shell, chocolate. If you like the peanut ones, you taste all that. But really pay attention to what you're eating as you're eating it. By the fifth or sixth M&M, you don't taste all that stuff anymore. You just taste sugar, and you're eating compulsively. I dare you to try it the next time you eat something, like whether it's cake, cookies, whatever it is that you're into. First bite of a chocolate chip cookie, you're going to taste butter, vanilla, chocolate chips. You taste all the ingredients. The second bite, you're going to taste chocolate chip cookie. Third bite, you're going to taste cookie. Fourth bite, you're going to just taste sugar. And if I put a blindfold on you, said, take a bite. Is this a sugar cookie, a chocolate chip cookie, a walnut? You won't know the difference. You'll just be. And the same thing when you drink it. You drink some lemonade. That first burst of lemonade, you taste all the lemon and the sugar. Halfway through it, you can't taste that stuff anymore. And then when you drink water, now water tastes foreign to you.
Yeah,
it does, because you drink some orange juice and you drink some water, you're like, what is this? Because your taste buds have told you you've had enough. But you won't stop drinking it. Why? Because you're addicted to sugar. And when you're addicted to something, even if you have had enough, what makes you the addictive part is you keep doing it. Whether it is meth, whether it is cocaine, whether it is orange juice. Like, think about it. You ever been to a restaurant?
Yes.
Like when I was younger, high school, college, and I thought I was doing something when I was, taking someone out on a date, and we go to the Olive Garden. And we're sitting down, right? Olive Garden. I'm getting fancy, right? But why I went to Olive Garden as a young man who didn't have a lot of money was they gave you a couple things with just unlimited. So you get unlimited juice. See, most places give you unlimited soda. They gave you unlimited juice. So you get like white grape juice, fancy juice, white grape juice, unlimited. They give you those bread rolls, those hot garlicky bread rolls, unlimited. They give you unlimited salad, and they give you unlimited water. Those are 4 things you get just as long as you were sitting there. You can tell the waiter or waitress, just keep bringing it on. So you can eat a lot for less. Now, waitress, true story. Waitress comes to the table. We're there. We've got water, juice, salad, bread. And we're talking, just passing the time. You ready to order yet? No. But what do? We drink our juice. We eat some bread, right? Waitress comes back. You ready to order yet? No, but you know what? We can do a refill on some bread and this juice, right? Comes back again. You ready to order yet? No, but I can take another refill on my juice and some more bread. The water was just sitting there. The salad just sitting there. We went through 3 baskets of bread and 3 servings of juice with every intention of still ordering appetizers, still ordering dinner, still ordering dessert. Now, if you think about those 4 items, you've got water, which is hydrogen and oxygen, nutrition. You got salad, fiber, vitamins, nutrition.
Yeah.
You got bread, sugar with some butter and some salt on it, sugar, salt, and fat. And you got juice, liquid, sugar. The 2 things that just kept getting consumed without any regard to the fact that we were there to actually sit and order a meal were the bread and the juice, the sugar. The 2 things that were just sitting there, glass condensating.
Yeah.
So if I was really thirsty, I would have drank the water. But I kept drinking the juice, even though I had both options in front of me.
Yep.
If I was really hungry, I'd have ate the salad. But I ate the bread and kept eating the bread and kept eating the bread and kept getting refills on the bread and hadn't even ordered my appetizer yet.
I feel personally attacked
all the time.
Yeah.
So that's a blatant example, because if you were truly starving or if you're truly thirsty on a hot day and somebody offered you a cold bottle of water, you drink it.
Yes.
So if I was really thirsty, do I need 36, 48 ounces of juice? No.
Sherry McQueen, I love this comment. Ready? But that bread, though, that Alfredo sauce,
right?
Of course. And the 3 things that make food taste outstanding to human beings are sugar, salt, and fat. So if you got bread with Alfredo sauce, you've got sugar, the bread, salt on the bread, fat, Alfredo sauce.
Yep.
That's why it's so outstanding. That's why French fries are so delicious.
Do you have cheat days?
Potato, salt and hot fat.
Kuti, do you have cheat days where you just go big and eat
That's a
anything
brilliant
you
question.
want?
It's a brilliant question, and I realized in that whole answer I didn't answer your first question. What do I order when I go out to eat? So I'll kind of combine both of those. So number one, when I go out to eat, typically to drink, I do drink water because water with lemon actually satisfies me more than a drink. Like I hate when I start drinking something and all I want to do is just drink more of it. And because my taste buds are desensitized, are sensitized, even though I do enjoy lemonade, for me it's kind of too strong at times depending on where I'm going. And it's a waste of money. It's like if I'm gonna spend some money on something that's on sugar, I'd rather get this awesome dessert than just random lemonade. So I count my costs that way. I typically get like really cool salads, or I'll get like a really nice, let's say, like the Cheesecake Factory. The Cheesecake Factory has this miso salmon. It's delicious. Oh, now, what I'll do instead of having it on rice, I'll ask them to cut up raw kale and put that underneath it instead of the rice. So that way I still have a ton of green vegetables surrounding stuff. Now it's still gonna be some salt in there, still gonna be some fat in there, but I acknowledge that I'm eating out, but I will still remix the dish so that it's a healthier dish. And the thing is, they've got all that kale's gonna do in the kitchen is go rotten if they don't use it. So when I'm asking for it, typically I don't even get upcharged for it because I'm just like, hey, if you don't use it today, you might have to throw it out. So just go ahead and give me some of that kale instead of throwing it out. And they're like, okay, cool. When I pitch it to them like that, then that's how I get it. So typically I do drink water. Typically, I'm a sucker for a good short rib every once in a blue moon, but for the most part, I'll find dishes that are veggie heavy. If I can't find stuff that I really like and I'm really trying to keep it tight, I'll go to the either to the appetizer section or the side section and pick my favorite 3 vegetables, or maybe one really cool Brussels sprouts appetizer, and then 2 of my favorite veggies as a side, combine that to make a meal. Now, as far as cheat days go, I don't believe in cheat days because, again, we're talking about addiction, right?
Yes.
So, again, let's go back to your meth addicted uncle. Now, if you said, you know what, Unc, I know you're trying to get clean, but what I want you to do is know that you can totally abstain and do all these healthy things from Sunday to Friday, but on Saturday, have at it, man. Just have as much meth as you need. How do you think that's going to go? You think it's going to stay on Saturday?
I think on Sunday he's going to want more of it because he's going to feel that energy of still giving it because he gave himself too much. Bad week, it's an excuse, and it makes it easier to keep going back to it.
Precisely. I'll bring it back to food. I remember it would be stuff like, okay, date night was Friday night. Friday is always my best stat day, Friday morning, because I've been in front of clients all day long. So I've been keeping it tight to set a good example. I'm in my routine. So Friday afternoon comes, I work out, and it's okay, it's date night. We go out. I go and say, you know what? I'm going to have a nice, healthy dinner like I just described to you. But you know what? It is a Cheesecake Factory. Let me get a piece of cheesecake, right? And that's just gonna be my one incident. Now you can have one incident that's off program and survive it. You can. The problem is we're talking about addiction, right? So one incident, all I'm gonna do is Friday night cheesecake, that's it. I wake up Saturday and I'm ready to get on my program, and then I get reminded, oh, did I tell you, our kids' friends having a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. I forgot to tell you, and you gotta take her. It's like, okay, go to Chuck E. Cheese, birthday cake, ice cream, pizza. All right, well, it's just today. It's just this one occasion. It's just the kid's birthday. It's not gonna happen again. But I already had cheesecake the night before. Boom. Next morning, it'd be really cool if we just go to brunch. We haven't been to brunch in a long time. Can we just go to brunch and get some brunch? We haven't done it in a while. So now it's Sunday, and I'm doing French toast and all this other stuff. Now I've had 3 straight days of one cheat day.
Right.
Sounds familiar.
Wait, but I haven't had my cheat day yet. So now it's like, okay, I did all that. Now I want to do my cheat day. That's how the cheat day typically work. And then all of a sudden you find yourself, after spending 4 days on program, spending a whole nother 4 days, off program, and every one incident sticks with your body for 48 to 72 hours. I can always tell what my clients have done 2 days prior based off their stats. Because I look at their stat from when I measured them before, and I look at their weight and their body fat, and I go, and what did you do 2 days ago? They're like, I can't remember. I was like, well, it looks like you probably ate something. Nah, just, not to catch them, but just like think about it. You're like, oh no, they're like, oh yeah, that's right. Kid, my wife came home with some cake or whatever. I forgot, and I had some, and then it all starts coming out. Then we had something to drink that night. Then the next day we went to brunch, and it all starts coming out because the stats will tell you this. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is, if you eat on program, so in other words, you're eating your vegetables, you're eating your fruit, you're juicing, you're drinking water. What happens there is that the stuff that your body needs, true legitimate nutrition, if it goes through your body in 24 hours. Like think about it. You don't drink, 2 glasses of water now and not go to the bathroom until, today is Wednesday, not go to the bathroom until Saturday. You'll go to the bathroom that day, right? But you might eat something that will be stuck in your stomach for a second. Off-program foods hang in your system for 48 to 72 hours. On-program foods, your body takes what it needs and utilizes whatever it needs from it nutritionally, and whatever it doesn't need, it expels immediately. So if you eat a salad today, it's coming out of you tomorrow. You eat a steak today, it might not come out till this weekend. Now that's just one time. So if you do French toast in the morning for breakfast, 48 to 72 hours. But then you do a sandwich, a cheesesteak for lunch. That's another 48 to 72. Then you do your, whatever, cheeseburger for dinner. That's another 72. And all that stuff is just piling up on each other. And that's just one day. Yes.
Wow.
So the example that I gave you earlier, where I had cheesecake on Friday night, I had pizza and cake on Saturday, and then I had French toast on Sunday, I've already stacked up. So by the time Monday comes, my stats to completely crash. But if I just did the cheesecake on Friday night, then jump right back on program Saturday, and then come Sunday, that cheesecake is coming out of me around Sunday, and my stat will probably be equal to what it was on Friday. It won't be better, it will be equal. But then I can go from there and continue progressing. So again, you can get one incident in. It's just that you got to be judicious about these incidents because we're addicted. So being addicted, those incidences will pile up on you quickly. Now, to answer, so what does Kuti do? I try to stay on program as long as I can, because I acknowledge that at some point, just as a human being, I will go off program. Mm-hmm. I make on program the habit. I make off program the exception. I had a client that was in my program, just wrapped up my program. He rocked his way through this thing, lost all kinds of weight, had all these health breakthroughs that he had not seen in his life in years. And what he acknowledged was he started to notice that towards the end of the program, he was falling off a little bit. And what happened was he was having these special occasions that kept popping up. And when they popped up, he treated them like special occasions. And the more we started analyzing it, I was like, dude, you had a special occasion like every day for like the last 5 days. He was just like, you're right. And he's like, these occasions aren't that special. Because they were that special, they wouldn't come so frequently. I can name, before you even start the year, I can name a special occasion for every month. Like, let's just go. So, okay, January, you've got, if you want to count it, New Year's Day, right? So New Year's Day, you do it up, January. Come February, in America, you got
Valentine's. South Africa as well.
March, you've got March is always somebody's birthday, anniversary, holiday, something.
Easter,
something.
St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day.
Boom, there you go.
Big drinking day.
Yep. April, you've got Easter. That's the brunch. That's the eating holiday. May, you've got
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, correct. Thank you. Mother's Day. June, you've got Father's Day. July, you got Independence Day. August, you've got Labor Day. September, the football season starts. So somebody's tailgating somewhere. October, you've got Halloween. November, you've got Thanksgiving. December, you've got Christmas and New Year's Eve. That's already 13 special occasions before we talk about anniversaries, before we talk about birthdays, before we just talk about just a random cookout, an engagement, a ball, some gala. Before we even name all that, I've already got 13 special occasions that are guaranteed to hit your life, period, point blank, no matter who you are.
Okay, but how do you keep yourself in check at an occasion? What do you look forward to eat? What?
Awesome question. So what you do to keep yourself...
Yes, Brandon.
I want to jump on that with her. That way you can answer both of ours at once. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to interrupt you. Like, you mentioned your program and you stick on program and all that. And when you're off of it, you're off balance in a sense. With that, and her question, staying on a program, that's literally thinking every single day to stick to yourself. It's telling yourself it and changing it. Can you elaborate on combining those two ideas together so that way people know why this is so essential?
Precisely. One thing that I really admonish people to do, and in my program, I really drive this home, is people think that it's them thinking about it that is the difference. They think that it's an academic decision. It's an issue of strength and willpower. It's not. We're biological first. Even what we feel is a direct result of what our neurological system is signaling. Is what our hormones are telling our body to do and feel. That's why somebody could be alive, be paralyzed from the waist down, and if you stuck a needle in their leg, they can't feel a thing because biologically speaking, it's not working down there. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. So we think we're feeling something. I'll give you an aside. Have you ever opened up your refrigerator or your cupboard and you're starving, right? You're starving, and you open it up and it's got food in it, and you go, man, there's nothing to eat in here. Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah. All the time.
I'll tell you what happens. The next time that happens to you, pay attention to what you're looking at. If you open up the fridge and all you see is water, and all you see is celery, and all you see is kale, and all you see are apples. By the time you're opening up the refrigerator to say that you're hungry, what it is your E-light, your low battery signal is going off. You need energy.
Yeah.
Your body really wants nutrition. But at this point, it has not gotten enough nutrition to sustain it, which is where juicing comes into play and helps you. So when you open it up and you see the fridge, your body's just looking for some quick energy right now. Your body wants sugar.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't see sugar. So it's like there's nothing to eat.
Wow.
Because I need sugar right now. So even if it's a healthy option, what you'll see is, let's say you have blueberries and chopped pineapple sitting beside each other in the fridge. When you open up the fridge in that mode, you're going to grab the pineapple. Whatever you grab, if you have orange juice and water, you're going to grab the orange juice because your body's going for the sugar. It needs a quick fix now. It doesn't have time to metabolize and process all the vitamins and enzymes. It's like, no, I need energy now. So in my program, that's where juicing comes into play, because juicing gives you the nutrition, it gives you the clean energy you need. So if you juice right before you go to any of these events, you'll find first of all, you're going to see food a completely different way. You're not going to walk in there and be like what I used to do is, well, I got this gala tonight, so I'm going to just not eat until I go to this gala because it's a dinner and I paid for it. Now I juice. So when I go to these events, I'm not going there with the E-light on. I'm not going there looking for blind energy. Like, it's the same thing if you have your car and you're driving, and I'm a person that I hate to spend extra money on gas. So what I do is I have an app that tells me, here's where the lowest price gas is in your vicinity per GPS. Use that app over and over and over again. You start to know for yourself, okay, this gas station at this corner has cheaper gas than that station does. And if you're as adherent to a budget, I'm not gonna say stingy, as adherent to a budget as I am, I start to know where my spots are, right? So I find myself out of my zone. And I'm in this neighborhood and the gas prices are just exorbitant. I'm more committed to not spending on gas than I am to getting the gas that I need. So my car needs 93 octane gas, but I'm not paying $5 for 93 octane gas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some 87 because that's almost the price that my 93 is at home. I'm going to get enough 87, put it in this car, and then get home so I can then get the gas that I want to pay the price that I'm used to paying.
Right.
In other words, I'm willing to go for cheap fuel now that could actually destroy my car long term, just because I don't want to. I just need energy now. I just need fuel now. That's what our bodies do with sugar. So if I juice before I go to an event, I'm not looking for cheap energy anymore. Matter of fact, all I'm waiting for is like, when is the lobster going to be served? Like, when is the expensive part of the plate? I don't care about all that cheap stuff. You know, when's the stuff that I actually paid for? When is that going to be served? But you're not going to get me with all these cheap petty hors d'oeuvres and pigs in a blanket. No, I'm not even eating that stuff. You'll make those decisions from a biological standpoint because you got what you need in your system. If you go there bereft of that, what's going to happen is you're just going to take whatever you can get. And then once I get there, if I have the option of constructing my plate for myself, if it's a potluck, not so much in COVID era, but you know, if it's a potluck, if it's a buffet, what I do is, and this is the tip for anybody, special occasion eating, whether it's holiday eating, you know, Thanksgiving dinner, all that kind of stuff, a cookout even, think of your plate as a pie chart. Half of that plate should be raw vegetables, i.e. salad or fruit, or any combination thereof. A quarter of that plate should be the cooked veggie option, right? Because the cooked veggie option, you have less control as to how it was prepared, but at least you know it's vegetables. And then that last quarter of the plate can be whatever you want to eat. So if you want mac and cheese, get it. If you want mashed potatoes, get it. If you want a rib, get it. But it has to fit in that last quarter of the plate, and you cannot stack vertically.
Oh, dang it. I'm like, I'm a Jenga master.
So if you eat that way, what you'll find is A, you don't feel social pressure, like, oh man, I feel like a weirdo. I'm over here chewing on bark while everybody else is eating, you know, ribs. B, you get a chance to taste a little bit of everything. C, the bit that you do get of whatever that last quarter of that plate is, you're going to enjoy a little bit more. So you're going to savor it as opposed to just inhaling ribs and whatever. You're going to get a bite while I eat my salad, get another bite. You're going to actually enjoy it more. And most importantly, you're giving your body mostly fruits and vegetables. You're drinking water. And what happens is that stuff, remember I told you, when you eat off program, it sticks in your system 48 to 72 hours. When you eat on program, it in and out, right? Most of that food is in and out. So if you're eating that along with the in and out food, it has a quicker chance of getting out of your system faster. You jump right back on program when you get home and you leave and you're good to go.
So I let you have two. It's my turn. I have so many questions. I'm just kidding, Elsa.
No.
I actually, my question goes along with for you. So when I had a restaurant and we didn't have a juicer, we had to figure out how to do it. Something we did was we had Vitamixes, blenders, and we would blend up kale with some water, cucumbers in there, and then we pour them into ice cube trays. And that way the next day, like, we had ice cube kale cubes, and we had ice cube fruits, strawberries, things like that, like little like things. And then you'd add them because they were cold. So it made the drink now cold, and we were getting the nutrition. If you don't have a juicer until your birthday, because let's say Ilse's birthday isn't till next February.
Next February.
Yeah, exactly. December. I don't care right now. I'm just kidding. December. I love you, Elsa. I'm just kidding. But in December, instead of getting like waiting for that and being 3-4 months away still, she's able to blend them and be able to take that and then put like an ice cube tray in the freezer. Is that going to be able to provide the same amount? Not exactly same amount, I don't think, but is it a way of getting yourself started in the right direction where you're getting the nutrients, the fibers?
It's a way of getting started. I wouldn't consider it equivalent, but it is a way of getting started. Now, what I would say is if, and now this question was asked earlier and I want to make sure I answered it too. So if you can't get a juicer, if you can't afford a juicer, what do you do? Okay. We talked about getting it gifted to you. Another option, all these options honestly seem cheaper in the short run, but they're more expensive in the long run. Kind of like what I was talking about, putting 87 octane in a vehicle that requires 93 octane gas. It'll get you where you got to go. But if you make that a habit, you'll be going to the shop and when you have a car that requires 93 octane gas, it already kind of implies that going to the shop is not something that you want to do. And And when you do go, your oil change, your carburetor, your engine block is going to cost a lot more to fix than it would if you just, got your oil change normally and gotten regular gas. So I always say, if you look at what it costs you to not get a juicer, and you consider what you spent money on in the past, and again, this is not being judgy at all. People go to these coffee shops and spend $10, $12 on one beverage, and you say, okay, if I just said no to 10 of those, I got $120.
Yep.
Yes.
And once you have the proper juicer, a masticating juicer, my masticating juicer is 11 years old, has never crapped out on me once.
Wow.
So when you amortize that over the years, I didn't pay anything for that juicer. And I actually got it gifted to me as well. I put it on. I love that because I had a centrifugal juicers before. They just kept crapping out on me, and so I said, okay, I found a nice premium juicer. A special occasion was coming up. I was like, hey, that's on the gift list. If you can't get it for me, just give me a gift card so I can spend less of my own money on it. And I ended up getting it as a gift. So
I like that. I'll go look for a juicer.
So I'll say this as well. There are a few, not many, but there are a few powdered greens out there. And again, you gotta look at the ingredients, because some of these powdered supplemental beverages, especially the protein powders, if you look at them, sugar, chocolate sugar, okay, vitamin B, protein, all this other stuff. So you want it to be something where in those first 5 ingredients, you don't see something nefarious, something that you cannot pronounce, and something that is not a vegetable. And and if you DM me, let's see, what will be we can go.
What's your IG again?
If you Java Delight and DM me at Instagram, I can give you some suggestions as to where you can find these powdered greens. Now, what I'll say with the powdered greens they are not the equivalent of juicing. However, I have found a few brands that are good facsimiles and hold you overs until you either can get to the grocery store and get some more veggies if you're out of stock, or if you're traveling and you don't want to take your juicer with you, but you want to be able to still kind of keep that habit in. There are a couple powdered green products that you can get where you just put a spoon or 2 of them in some water, drink it, and you basically juice. What I've seen that they do provide is they do provide clean energy. They do keep you somewhat on program, but they're not as potent as just a fresh squeezed juice, because nothing tops nature.
Okay. I've got another question for the next 2 weeks. Do you have a new challenge for us?
You know what? I do. I have the same challenge that I had before, because did both of you make it all 2 weeks?
No, I've been drinking this the whole time. So.
Mine was, I started it, and then look, it's not an excuse. I let the fun times or the celebration or the morning, whatever you want to put it, that time, I had some stupid things like cake and stuff. And then it slowly faded out. Like it just, like you said.
Let's do this. Last time what we did was we had you juice for 2 weeks and then and just come back to me and see what happens. Let's do the same time. Let's do the same thing this week, but let's communicate over the course of the 2 weeks. So if you find yourself getting challenged, we're going to troubleshoot it as you go.
I like that. I appreciate that.
That way, I will, free of charge, of course, I will be your accountability partner.
Oh shit, Kuti, that's a big deal. Like
Ilse hit me one time. Like she hit me one time over the course of the 2 weeks, and so we had one exchange. I don't think you and I are following each other yet, Brandon. So we're gonna fix that. But we'll.
Kuti, tell me your IG again. I wanted to type it in here for everybody so that way they see it.
No problem. It's KUTI M as in Mary ACK at Kuti Mack.
At Kuti Mack. I love it.
So just follow me. Whoever's watching, put Java Delight in the DMs. I'll give you a free 15-minute consultation. They'll just, whatever your fitness, nutrition, or health or mindset issue is, we'll take 15 minutes, go over it free of charge, and I will give you something that you can walk away with that'll help you be better, be your best.
Boom.
I like that. I like that I've got somebody that can hold me accountable.
Yes.
So I will definitely do that. And then it's just what do you eat with that? Just chicken and vegetables.
Okay, she said chicken. All right, so look.
I love chicken.
here's I'm not even going to get into your nutrition yet. I want you to get the juicing habit down first.
Okay.
And because if you indeed juice twice a day, and what I'll say to you, Ilse, really quick, when you're going, I just had a client this morning actually text me. It was a local grocery store, but they had their own bottled juices, and I was immediately skeptical, like just like I was when I was looking at you. But then she actually sent me the ingredients list, and all they had in theirs was kale, cucumber, and lemon.
Okay.
Now that surprised me.
I'll check.
I was just like, wow. I was like, wait a minute, and it was 7 grams for the entire bottle. That's why I knew your thing was off. You said it was 7 grams of sugar, and this bottle was as big as me, and she had this bottle that was 7 grams. I was like, nah, that's wrong. So what I'm saying is there are some people who are starting to get it a little bit. Now, usually those juices do cost at a premium. And you'll be like, man, I'm paying whatever, $7, $8, $9, $10, $14 for a bottle of juice. Eventually, you'll see it does make sense to get your own juicer. But if you can't, in the meantime, and we're only talking a 2-week sprint right here, and all you do need is about maybe 10 ounces of serving in the morning, 10 ounces in the afternoon or evening. So
how much milliliters?
I'll be your accountability partner. See if you can find some juices on the market, and before you buy them, just take a picture, send it to me, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
So
I'll do that.
If time is of the essence and you can't get to me, just know that within the first 5 ingredients, the first 5 have to be vegetables, no matter what it says on the front. You may say this is a kale, celery, green mix, but when you flip it over, it's mango, pineapple, apple, pear, and then kale. That's wrong.
I'll definitely check. Thank you so much.
And then you want it to be under 10 grams of sugar per serving.
Okay.
Those are the 2 things you want to look for. If it has those 2 things, it's in play. You can use that until you get a juicer. And if you do have a juicer, Brandon, then juice 2 times a day. And then as you're going, if you're faithful with that, again, I'll remind the viewers and the listeners, when you wake up in the morning, within 90 minutes, you have your first juice. The only thing you can precede that with is water, if anything. Make sure it's the first thing that your body gets, and then do it one more time in the afternoon or evening. And if you do that consistently over the course of 11 days, you're going to notice some things changing. And those things that you're noticing that are changing, those are the things that I want you to come back and report to us. Okay?
Got it. I got a picture of you, and I followed you with my personal one too. That way I sent you a message, Kuti. I had the business one already following you. Kuti, you are astonishingly a wealth of knowledge, and you give so much of yourself. I have one last question. All right? So the 48 to 72 hours, we have that stuff being built up in us from the bad gas, right? Mm-hmm. If we start eating right, does it help push the bad gas out faster?
Precisely. When your body has what it needs, it gets rid of what it doesn't. Like I always tell, like when you have a significant other, right? When you're single, you see everything. Everything that can remotely be an option, you see it all. But then when you have that significant other that really has you, it's not that those people disappear, but you just aren't aware of them anymore. Like I used to know where every Krispy Kreme donut shop used to be.
I still do, unfortunately.
Yeah. I used to know where they all were. I got you even better. I used to know when the hot light was on, even when I wasn't in the vicinity. I could be just driving down the highway and go, hot light, and be right. That was me. Then where I lived before I lived here, they built a new Krispy Kreme and another donut shop right across from each other within a mile of my jogging route. And I swore, I was like, man, this is gonna be a problem. And I swore I'm gonna just go to the pad, right?
Yeah.
I walked past them things every day for years, never even stopping in, to the point where I think I even one time tried to convince my daughter that she liked donuts, so I would go. And she was just like, nah. And I was just like, oh, wow, okay.
Okay. My bad.
I guess the Krispy Kreme thing is a thing of the past. And then when I finally did just break down one time, I'm just going to get some donuts. I'm going to get some donuts. I ate one and couldn't get through. It was just too sweet.
Really?
I couldn't believe I used to eat like half a dozen in seconds when they were hot. Seconds. And I was just like, wow, like my body has changed. My body has changed. It was a little sad.
Like, that is fascinating because I love donuts and, like, oh, I love this comment. So you're saying Krispy Kremes are not healthy?
I mean, look, let me
Really?
tell you,
No.
before I became a trainer, I was always into like basic fitness. And I'll tell you, somebody did something that was so enlightening, yet so, dare I say, cruel. I was in Richmond, Virginia. There's a Krispy Kreme on West Broad Street. I still know where they all are. And so I pull up to the Krispy Kreme, I'm in line, and somebody had the audacity to take the nutritional breakdown of a Krispy Kreme donut, print it, blow it up, and stuck it inconspicuously on the side of the cash register. So as I'm sitting there in line, I just kind of look and I read it, and I noticed that one donut had like 90% of the daily recommended value of cholesterol.
Oh, whoa.
I'm going to remind you, I would buy a hot dozen at any given time and eat 6 of them before I'd even left the parking lot. One donut had 90% of the daily recommended value of cholesterol. Now, I go to my doctor for my checkup not too long after, and he's like, you know what? And again, I've always looked like this. I've always been, so he's like, I can tell you work out. He said, but you know what, sir? Your cholesterol level is bordering, like, it's like on the high side of good, low side of bad. And if you're not careful, you're gonna have high blood pressure soon. But he's like, I can't reconcile it because you look like you're fit. So what I'm gonna do, this is why I still love my doctor to this day, I still keep him. He said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you the chance to fix it with your nutrition. Now, at first I wanted to buck against him, like, there's no way, because I've been watching what I eat. I'm eating brown rice and salmon and lean meats and all this jazz stuff, some of the stuff I don't even eat right now. But then I remembered that Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way we look at it as lay people is, well, I'll eat these donuts, but if I get on the treadmill, I'm gonna run it off. I'm gonna do a half-hour workout, and I'm gonna work off the Krispy Kreme donut. But if the Krispy Kreme donut, one of them has 90% of your cholesterol value in just one, and you eat 6 in one sitting,
You need to run on the treadmill the whole day.
Yeah.
And that's just one time that you eat, not the every time you eat a hot light, go get some Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yeah. Oh, man. Kuti, you are insane wealth of knowledge. You are an amazing soul offering that. Guys, Brian Tracy shared it with the shareable link. Just tap that right there. It'll take you right to Instagram. Follow Kuti. Send him a message that says Java Delight. He is willing to be your, like, sounding board, not to complain, but to help get yourself into being your best you with juicing and why foods are what they are. Kuti, I have to be honest, man, every time you come on, you give me this spark of energy, and I love the energy you bring. So, ladies and gentlemen,
by that, let's keep it going. Like I said, this time we're going to stay in touch and be accountable throughout the 2 weeks, and then we'll come back and see what differences you see and feel in yourself or people notice around you. I'm
100% honored and grateful. I'm going to email you today. That way I don't lose track and get busy again. I'm keeping my Kuti. I want cooties. All right. I love it.
Let's do it.
Thank you, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in 1 minute with a word from our sponsor. Thank you, Kuti.
No problem.
Hi, my name is Brandon, and over the past year, the Delight Cafe team and I have traveled across the U.S. researching this rapidly growing industry of CBD products. What we have found throughout the industry were products that were inconsistent in dosage and used ingredients that weren't even lab tested. Products with chalky textures, bitter aftertaste, and worst of all, confusion among the CBD consumers. That's why we created Delight Cafe. A 15 milligram, lab tested, all natural, water soluble hemp CBD powder pack. It's odorless, colorless, and tasteless. Add it to your favorite drink of choice, wherever, whenever, on the go. Quickly find your calm, your balance, and your delight when you need it most.
And we're back. I see Ilse's got the full screen now. She looks all pretty over there. Ilse, our interview today, our special guest, his name is Dean Coulson. After After being told that he would never have kids naturally and 2 failed IVF attempts, Dean embarked upon the path of uncovering what true health meant to see if there is another way. Sounds like something we were just talking about. It turned out there was optimistic health. Optimizing health is so powerful. His son was conceived naturally through lots of practice, I'm betting. From that point, Dean was curious what else was possible and discovered his true purpose: empowering, inspiring others to be all that they are, using the holistic approach to optimize what Dean sees as the 4 elements of health and well-being. That is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, that allow you to thrive. From IT consultant to the gym owner and now highly acclaimed performance lifestyle coach, Dean helps successful business entrepreneurs and CEOs who are stressed, sorry, I just had to make that obvious, anxious, and feel burnt out, optimize their health and performance so that they can relax, feel happy, fulfilled, and spend more time with family practicing making babies, showing men how to remove the fears and express who they really are by giving them the tools. So I have to read this last part because this is the part that we are all like, when practicing his bio, I literally read this and got so excited. So just so everyone knows, Dean has a huge part of his life for over the last 30 years and has studied a number of martial arts to black belts and has been inducted, get ready guys, this is the most epic part, into the UK Black Belt Martial Arts Hall of Fame. He uses his experience to provide unique coaching experiences, defend against your inner bully, mine's a jerk, and overcome whatever life throws at you. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, say hello, give a wonderful introduction, because Dean, I'm going to mess up his last name after doing everything else correct. Dean Coulson is with us now. Give him a hello, a love, and show him what the Delight Cafe has. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dean Coulson.
Hey guys, how you doing? There you go. Hey, how are you doing? I was muted. Typical.
We're like, Dean's coming in. Mute. Hold on. Let's add some stuff. Dean, thank you for coming on. First thing out the bat, have you seen the movie Avengers?
Yes.
Is Phil Coulson related to you? Because you look like him a little bit. You two look alike. We were like literally stuck on this before the show.
Are you his
that would be
double?
really cool, wouldn't it? But no, I'm not.
We thought you were his double, like his doppelganger for like the action scenes, being the black belt that you are. So, Dean, thank you for joining us today. How is your day going so far?
It's going great. Thanks for asking. How's yours going?
I have no complaints. No complaints.
What time is it there by you guys? Are you in the UK?
Nearly 4:10 in the afternoon.
Okay,
Really?
Are you in the UK?
Yeah, in the UK, yes.
Okay, so you're an hour after us, an hour behind now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Ilse's in South Africa. I'm in the States, and we enjoy just trying to. We wanted a really big net, so we went really far from each other to spread it and take the world with us.
Excellent.
But Dean, 30 years of martial arts. What kind of martial arts do you get into, and how the hell do you get inducted into a Hall of Fame?
Well, that's my martial arts journey started 35 years ago when I was 15 years old. I just turned 50. So, yeah, that's when it started. It was freestyle karate. That's how it started. And that, as with anybody of that era, it was Bruce Lee. Everyone was inspired by Bruce Lee, weren't they? So, and they still are. And so I wanted to punch and kick like Bruce. So that's why I started it. And that's been my journey. And it wasn't just about the physical aspect. It was more the mental and emotional, spiritual aspect, that martial arts way, the ethos and of the whole way of martial arts, self-respect, perseverance, self-control, discipline, all those elements really, really suited me. And so that's where I went from there. And then over the years, I've looked in different martial arts, because once you get a black belt, that's really just showing you've mastered the basics. So then I want to go okay, I'll take a white belt in something else. What else can I learn? Because I really feel like, we're always a student, and I always want to be a little fish in a big pond. Once you get to that big fish in a little pond, I want to then step back and start learning again. So I've got martial arts in three different martial arts, and third dan in all three. The one I'm really passionate about is the real combat system, which is a self-protection martial art. And I got into that 11 years ago with a guy called Jeff Thompson, who's a world authority in martial arts. So it was really because I wouldn't understand, because even though I had black belts when I was younger, I still felt massive fear of physical confrontations. So I really wanted to learn more about that and go deeper into the esoteric stuff, because it's not just about the physical stuff. You could be the best fighter in the world, but if you cannot handle or control or master yourself or the fear that you feel, then you will always, come second best. And I wanted to understand that. I didn't understand that at the time when I first got into martial arts, and I really wanted to master that. So that's where I went from there.
What is your favorite type of martial arts? Because you've done so many, which one is your favorite one to practice?
I like the self-protection stuff, so the real combat system, because it's a mix. It's a reality-based martial arts, so it's things that work on the street. It's not the fluff, it's just the stuff that really helps you. So it has jiu-jitsu in, it has wrestling in, it has judo in, it has boxing in, it has kicking in, but it's just the elements that work. And I'm interested in being able to escape those elements. It's not about having a street fight. It's about understanding what's going on and being able to get out there before that. So it's about awareness. It's about avoidance. It's about escape. And if all else fails, it's about preemption, which is hitting first and hitting hard. That's it. Then escaping. But it's always about escaping. That's all. That's the premise of self-protection, or good self-protection anyway.
I'm so sorry. Are you a sensei as well? Is that something that you would be passionate about in teaching someone to that?
Yeah, I do teach. Yes, I do that. I do seminars. I do workshops. I don't have my own club as such, although I do train at other people's clubs in similar martial arts. But yes, it's something that I always like to impart the knowledge and through my coaching as well, because as well as that, awareness, avoidance, escape is a physical thing. It's also a metaphysical thing. And coaching in your life, you can then take that back. And yes, we have to have that awareness before we can make any change in our lives. We get to look at what we not just avoid to run away from, but the things that do not serve us. So that's the avoidance. And the escape is just stepping away from the addictions, the addictive behaviors, the things that you've fallen into. You're talking to Kuti before about all sugar and all these kind of addictions, which is a physical addiction. I'm interested in where we hold our attention, because we can't hold our attention in a healthy space, then we're always going to eat and go for the easy food. So it's about being able to control something so simple but so profound. Your attention in anything, not just food, but where your attention is. How easy are you distracted by external things, for example?
So I have a weird one, but how many people have you been able to take at one time and protect yourself?
It's funny, I get asked that a lot, but it's, yes, I've practiced for that a lot. It's about, being spontaneous. It's creating massive intention in where you want to be. So you make sure that you are the one who is still standing, but also it's just to make sure you can escape. So if there's 3 assailants, you're always going to hit the one that's the mouth, for example, because he's the one who's going to be forward. He's the one that everyone else is going to stand behind. If you take the mouth down, then you're going to have a better chance to escape, even if you have to, attack the other people. Again, it's all about the escape.
Yeah. So that was just a fun question.
Yeah,
it was. I heard 3 at one time. That's what I heard. The spiritual aspect of this is actually why a lot of people get into it. You saw my commercial of the CBD company.
Yeah.
I actually have he's now a UFC fighter. He's just got his first UFC contract, and he wears the brand and all that. But when I was learning from him, and he's 24 years old, the biggest thing he learned through these things was his mindset and how these martial arts helped connect him with him. Now, being a guy who works out, tries to eat right, I literally tries to do the mental, emotional, physical. I line up all of my chakras, but I could tell you right now, the protective side, like you were saying, I'm really not as good. I did karate. I was a white belt. That shows you how well I did. I've done jujitsu. I got beat up a lot. But I was learning how to get out of these. How does the spiritualness connect? And then why did you keep getting to another black belt if you had that spiritual awakening?
The spiritual awakening came later, and that came when we couldn't have kids, for example. That was sort of when my consciousness was expanded. It was, okay, what else needs to happen in my life? Because I felt, looking back, I was largely in an unconscious state. You just did the things day in, day out. You left school, you got the qualifications, you got a job, you got married, you had kids, all that kind of stuff. And that, like most people, we fall into that without really questioning why or if that's what you really want. And yes, we couldn't have kids, but that just really woke me up. And I think that's when the sort of spirituality started, and the mindfulness really started. So, that was a good, 15, 17 years, because of course, at first it's all about the fighting. It's all about being able to protect yourself and looking good and all that kind of stuff. I get that. I like to kick high, break boards and all that stuff. That's what I was doing when I was younger. But then as you get older, and of course you get mature, then other things happen that wake you up. You get this awareness, your self-awareness expands. And that's when, spirituality starts. You start having this mindfulness. You're aware that, you're connected to everything else. You're aware that, there's more to life than, playing small and thinking small. We can think bigger. What happens if we do that? And that's the exciting stuff.
I see you've got you've got your gym, you've got your business where you show men, help men with the stress and everything. What do you do with all these things? How do you keep all the stress off yourself?
I create daily rituals, so things that help me center. And so I know Tony Robbins talks about prime states. It's kind of like that, where where I have a number of things that I do in the morning to set myself up for success, to be able to get my mind in the right place, because we can easily wake up and react to life. And if we do that, we'll forever be in that loop. For me, it's about taking back control. It's all about self-sovereignty or self-mastery. Mastery of the body, mind, and spirit. And to do that, I do a number of things. First thing I do when I open my eyes is be thankful for breathing and having another day on this planet. I take it back to that level, because we take it for granted that we're just going to get up again and complain about the day. I'll do this, I'll do that. I bring myself to that center straight away. And then after that, it's nourishing my body, respect my body. I'll hydrate, I'll mobilize my body, I'll meditate. That's what I do on waking every day. And after that, then of course there's, it could be study, some kind of reading, or there'll definitely be some form of physical exercise. And those things will keep me centered. And I'll always create space in my day for me. So I will not feel the guilt of stopping and doing nothing. And so I can have some form of contemplation or reflection or feel into something, because I think a lot of people aren't tuned into our emotions a lot. And so it's the fact that, okay, I've even got an app on my phone, every hour pings, check in with yourself. So if I'm, because yes, I'm human, I can get caught up in different stuff, and you can be stressed, and you can, you
could say shit. Okay. You could say shit. Yeah, you're good.
Can I say it? Okay, I can say shit. Okay.
You get every swear word and one F word, and everybody gets one, and we may celebrate depending on how you use it. We've had people who, I'm not going to say it, and then they drop it at the end, and we're like, yeah! So it's just for fun. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's fine. That's fine. So it's really just about that, really. It's I've lost me track.
I've got another question while you're trying to find your track before Brandon asks. What does true health mean to you?
Ooh. True health mean to me? Well, okay, so it is about them 4 elements. There's 4 pieces of that jigsaw, which is physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. That's synergistic. Exactly right, Jerry. Let's both become, don't worry, it's all good. So health for me is that synergy of all those 4. So we get to look at that, we get to check in with that, which our physical do we move with purpose, for example, because that's physical. But nutrition is a physical thing as well. Am I nourishing myself? Am I giving myself good food? If I'm not, why not? Usually for me, the thing that ties all four together is the emotional realm. That's the stuff that people do not deal with. And that's the stuff that, anytime we feel unsafe, for example, and our brain's always looking to see whether we're safe or not. So if we're not, and what I mean by that is, we could be asked to become on a podcast or do a presentation or something. Your body deems that unsafe. And what it does, it just shuts off the thinking part of your brain. It doesn't want you to think about what's dangerous. It wants you to react on what you did the last time. So from a food perspective, it's the easiest way. Had a bad day, stressful day, you reach for, the Ben and Jerry's, the ice cream, the wine, the biscuits, whatever they are. And then, of course, you eat them, and then your body feels safe again because that's what you do to react. And then, of course, you calm down. You get the access to your thinking part of your brain again, the neocortex, and then you start feeling guilty. Why did I do that? I'm on a diet. But it's not a mindset thing because we literally are out of our minds. We don't get that access. And so the emotional realm is where we get the look. What are we being triggered by? And that for me, understand the emotions. That's what true health is for me. Look at these four elements, how they hang together. What are we being triggered by? What can I sit with and let go of?
My next question would be around, I'm going to go back to the martial arts, and I promise this will be my last one because I'm curious. I want to get into what you're reading and how you build you and how about your kids, like how changing yourself helped that. But the martial arts thing, let's say you're someone like me. You're beautiful, you're handsome, you're adorable. Everybody, thank you. Yeah. So where should I start? Do I just walk into a MMA gym? Do I walk into a karate gym and just start pushing 12-year-olds over? Like, where do I start?
Well, from a martial arts perspective, it just depends on where you want to go. Some martial arts or some martial arts schools are very competitive because they do a lot of competitions. So you're going to have to, if you want that, then that's great. Otherwise, if you just want to do something recreational, then the best way to do it is just go in and say, okay, I'll just go to a number of different schools and watch. And then you'll know straight away, this is for me. Oh no, that's not for me. There's some big hairy gorillas in here throwing each other around. That's not my thing. It's one of the, and that they exist and that's cool. But it doesn't have to be that way, So for me, I've always been competitive. I always competed in kickboxing when I did kickboxing as well. And I've always had that go for that. But I know some people don't. They just like to go for recreation, bit of fitness, bit of flexibility, But I always say from a reality perspective, if you're going to go to a martial art and you're going to learn to protect yourself, because there's a lot of martial arts talk about self-defense. It's really, it's not about that. You can be the best martial artist in the world, but as I said, but if you can't master the fear, because it's a different arena. That's a controlled arena. The pavement arena is not. And so, it just depends on what you want. If you're going somewhere to learn self-protection or good self-defense, then it's got to be close to reality as possible in that environment.
Do you have a question, Brandon?
No, I was thinking. I'm sorry. I'll shut my face.
No, I'm so sorry. Can you tell us a little bit more about your book, Thrive?
Yes, this book here, Thrive. Just so happen to have a copy, funnily enough. Yeah. So,
I'm so glad.
I wrote that because it covers the four elements. It's all about health. So it's a holistic approach to high performance living. I wanted to write a book that would bring awareness to how you move, how you eat, challenging what you think, allowing yourself to express how you feel. That's what Thrive's about. It is there to help you gain self-mastery. You understand what that means from a mind, body, and spirit, and then allow you to, or give you the tools to, conquer whatever life throws at you. So I really wanted to approach it to get you approach life from a place of curiosity, wonder, excitement, rather than fear and frustration, because so many people are in that place. And I want people to get out of that place and then understand. So it's got the four elements. There's 6 parts to it. The first one is, I'll just read the title to you. It's get the first one. Oh, here we go. If I could even find the contents page. Okay, so part 1 is, I'll show you on here. It's all your fault. So that is the reason. So
sounds like my ex-wife.
but it's like you've got to realize that by understanding, take ownership of it and taking responsibility of it. That's that's my website, but it's it'll not take you to Thrive. I'll give you a different link for that in the comments. So I
appreciate that.
So it's really about getting people in the right mindset to start and challenging them. If they're triggered by that, that's fine. Because if you're triggered, then you can do something about it. You can see something there. So that's the first part. Then it talks about the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual stuff. And then the last part is time to thrive, which then shows you how to bring this all together and then push forwards with that. So that's why I wrote the book. It's something that was sitting in my mind for so long. So that came out at the end of July. And so I'm really proud of that, actually.
What is the name of the other website? I have my stuff right here ready to put it in there. Okay, so it's easier just to say it. So it's theleanwarrior.com, but it's /thrive-order-book. You don't have to order from there because you can get it on Amazon, but it's there and you can get a bit more information about that. Orders.
Yeah, so it's theleanwarrior.com /thrive-order-book.
Are you planning on writing any more books?
Oh yeah, I had to take so many chapters out of that one. Yeah. So
what projects do you have in the future? What are you planning for the next, let's say, 4 months of 2021? Is it 2021?
Well, I'm pushing my book Thrive. It came out in hardback. I released it in hardback first because I wanted to personalize it so I could sign it and all that kind of stuff. It's been released on Kindle yesterday, I think, and paperback in the next few days. And so it's really about pushing the book, making sure as many people as possible know all about that. So that's my main focus for the end of the year, till the end of the year, really.
Oh, okay, that's so awesome. Do you have a book tour coming up or?
I'm going to create one, yes, definitely. It was just with obviously current situations going on, it's been a bit tricky. So that's something that will definitely be in the pipeline because I really do want to push this a lot.
Has especially being in the gym industry, how has the COVID affected your gym part of your business?
Well, the gym, that was affected a lot. Yeah, it was switched online. But my main focus now is my coaching business, which it's an online business anyway. So it really doesn't affect me at all. So it's just something that I'm able to, be able to help people like this. Zoom and everything makes everything so simple these days. So from that perspective, it's easy. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I'm Brett. I came in here because Brandon talked about having only a white belt when he was in karate, or now he said if he doesn't take a break, he was going to have a yellow pants. So
it's too much juice.
So,
a funny story, I had green belt in karate.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's awesome. So,
yeah, exactly.
So Dean, what would you say would be one of the most important takeaways that you'd like people to have as, we're listening to you today and be able to take with them when they go? We've still got another half hour of the show to go, but wanted to kind of get a head start on people thinking about what you would like them to take away from this.
I think there's 3 things that I always want people to really think about. Is awareness is first. You can't change anything until you have awareness of it. I just seen someone post there that even positive things and like all your responsibility and your fault. That's true. Once we have awareness of something, then we can do something about it. Positively, negatively, it doesn't make a difference. But we've got to bring awareness to something. We don't know what we don't know. So by bringing awareness is always the first stage, because awareness precedes change. And after that, it's taking personal responsibility. Because a lot of people go from awareness to action, but without any really taking responsibility for anything. But if we can take responsibility and understand that everything we have done in our lives to this point is our fault. So if there's something, if your life's not where you wanted to be, it's your fault. And that might sting a little bit, but that's fine, because once you realize it is your fault and stop blaming anything or anyone, then you can do something about it. You can take your power back. But until then, if you're handing your power away, and why would you do that? Why would you give your power to somebody else or something else when you can then take it back? Usually because we've got some unconscious self-limiting belief. I get that. But by taking responsibility, at least we can then move forwards. And then, of course, by then we can take action. It's those three things: awareness, responsibility, and action. That's the three things I would like people to really take on board. And then I think after that, because humans are really good at blaming themselves and then beating themselves up for doing things or not doing things. I think one thing that so many people aren't is to be kind to themselves. I think that's really, really important. Be kind to others, of course, but how many times are we kind to others, but then we beat ourselves up? I think sometimes we just got to take that step back and understand what kindness really is. And I mean, kindness, is every thought you're having to yourself and others kind? Is what you're saying to yourself and to others kind? What are you doing? The actions you take, are they kind? Do they produce kind things to yourself and other people? If they don't, then that's where we get to look.
Yeah, and I think that last point was really important, because oftentimes, as you say, I think it's absolutely correct. You've got to, the 3 steps being awareness, taking personal responsibility, because everything where we are today is based on all the choices we made to this point.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we brought ourselves to this point, but oftentimes we start to feel angry at ourselves or angry at where we are or whatever. We may project those, but if we really do take responsibility of it and then are not kind to ourselves, then we also project that anger and that disappointment on others, which generates energy that attracts that energy back to us.
Yeah.
So it's really important to be kind.
Yeah, because whatever we focus on, where energy flows, where our focus goes. So if it's always on the things that we don't want, we'll get more of that, because that's where we focus. That's where we're pouring all our energy in. So it's really important to protect our time and energy at all costs. Whatever we're doing, everything takes energy. Every thought, every word, every action takes energy. Everything we need to deal with is energy. Once we realize that that's finite every day, that we get to really, really protect that. Stop, people pleasing, for example, which is, something I fell into a long time ago. So when I didn't even realize I was doing it, it just becomes that. It's like when people say, I'm happy when you're happy. But, your happiness is not anybody else's responsibility. It's your responsibility, just like everyone else is. And that once we realize that, and we don't, create any attachments to other things and make things conditional, that's when we get to step back and start. And that's where this awareness comes in. Okay, being aware that we're doing these things, and then we can do something about it.
Absolutely.
Are your kids also into martial arts?
Sam, he's nearly 17 now, so he's getting on. Not as old as me, but he did do martial arts up there. He was just a grade before black belt, but then he just stopped. He's actually he's the opposite of me. I take health very seriously. He's quite healthy, but he doesn't like physical exercise anyway. Not like the typical stuff like martial arts and gyms and runs and all that kind of stuff. He likes outdoor stuff. He likes paddleboarding. He likes kayaking and all that kind of stuff. So yes, he likes different things, and he has done martial arts in the past. Yeah, for sure.
You only have the one kid.
Yeah, I just got one. Yeah. The reason why is it took a long time for us to conceive and have Sam, but then during the pregnancy, my wife. We thought it was morning sickness, but it was actually anxiety that she had, and she suffered, and she ended up in hospital for 5 months. And then afterwards, it took her quite a while to recover from that. So it was it was a bittersweet thing, the pregnancy. Yes. We got what we wanted, but then that happened. It was like, okay, don't want to risk that again. So we've only got the one, and that's totally cool.
Right. Oh, sorry. I just don't want to interrupt you.
I'm back.
Oh,
Sorry.
Brandon.
I literally was drinking my water this morning, and I had so much water. I was talking with Ilse and Brett, and then all of a sudden I'm like, Brett, I need you to take the show for a second. I gotta run. So help me. So my question I wrote down next was, I want to know about your kids. Like, you only have the one. How did you? What was the biggest change that you had to do, and was there anything your wife did that made it where you guys noticed it changed for you guys and you could see the difference, and that's what got you knowing you will maybe get a kid? You will. It's not just the practice, it's other areas too.
Yeah, well, that was the thing, is like once we were told we couldn't have kids by medics, I looked at I didn't accept that. I thought, right, okay, what else is possible? So I started looking, and then I came across nutrition, and I started reading about health and what that actually really meant. And I realized that I was so far off the mark. It was just, I didn't challenge anything. I just went along with, the government guidelines and all that other kind of stuff. So we found a local nutritionist. Now, this was the early 2000s. So, before the advent of social media, it was more of a challenge to find. And she blew our world apart. Within 3 hours, we sat there and listened to her, and it was like, my God, it was unbelievable what she was saying. There was those health conditions I had that I was just living with, because that's what people do, that I didn't realize were being caused by things I was consuming or ingesting. And so it was really interesting. I was lactose intolerant. I had a problem. I had a blocked nose for about 18 years. I'd had operations which made no difference because I was eating dairy and my body couldn't digest it. So as soon as these were the things that she brought up, and now lactose intolerance, celiac disease, all that kind of stuff is common knowledge these days by a lot of people, but back then it wasn't. And so we came back that night and we didn't eat anything. We're looking at cupboards and we thought, that's all crap. So we didn't eat anything, and but because we had a very strong why, we wanted to have children, we started looking. So I bought loads of books, I read loads of books, I contacted the authors of books. And then I came across a book called Natural Solutions to Infertility. I contacted that author, and she actually did consultations, and we consulted with her. We did tests with her. We found there's deficiencies and all that kind of stuff, and toxicity and inflammation. So I ironed all that out. 3 months after we kind of nailed that, Joy conceived. And that's how powerful it was. So coincidentally, that's the maturation time of sperm. So after we implemented all these things, boom. And here's the irony, talking about practicing, is the fact that that's Joy there. It's the fact that the day we conceived, I remember the day that Sam was conceived, because we almost didn't, because we were late for work. It was like wake up in the morning, we were late for today. It's the right time. I said, we'll have to just have a quickie.
Oh, I love that. That's so fun. What was the hardest thing for you to give up, though? Like, there had to be something where you're like, I need my chocolate cake, my coffee in the morning, my sugary whatever. Was there something that was...
It wasn't one thing. It was the fact that I was told that I ate far too much wheat, for example. You eat wheat every day. You had cereal, you had sandwiches, you had pasta. It was easy. And that's what you did. And I was told, really for your body type and, the way you are right now, you should maybe have wheat once a week. And I was eating it 3 or 4 times a day, and not including biscuits and, all the other stuff that wheat's in. And so that was a really big draw, because at the time there wasn't supermarkets with lots of, free from products. So we did find a supermarket, but we really had to change things. So it was kind of like, instead of having pasta made with wheat, it was made with corn. We didn't have milk, dairy milk, it was rice milk. And so it was like that was kind of transition. Alcohol we stopped drinking for over a year. But as hard as it sounds, and it was hard, because all of a sudden it was like we're told, everything you're eating is crap, you've got to change everything. It was like, how the hell are we going to do that? It was a steep learning curve, but we knew that because we'd tried for 5 years, hadn't worked, 2 failed IVF attempts, and because we wanted kids so badly that we just did it. We both did that. And as a result, of course, Sam, he was conceived until it was 2004.
2004. So that means
that sounds like it was just the other day. 2004. The other day. But it's like 17 years ago.
17 years. 17 in a couple of weeks.
I'm telling you. So I see you're a contributing author in some in some books.
Yeah.
can see. Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah. Well, the first one I wrote, I was contributing author in, was called The Fit Formula, which was in 2011. And that was a number of like fitness professionals from the UK and the US. And so it was a collaboration of everyone was asked to write a chapter. We were invited to write a chapter just to create a fitness book that covered nutrition, covered health and all kind of stuff. But I knew everyone would be writing about training and nutrition. So I actually wrote about mindset at the time. I wrote about the power of intention, which is what the chapter is in there. It was about actually understanding about how your mind works and, you know, how powerful your intention is and whether, you know, I guess it was really about commitment at the time. And so that was 2011. Last year, I wrote a chapter in a book which was about training, funny enough, for a guy called Michael Heppel, who's a Sunday Times best-selling author. He's wrote a number of books. And he wrote a great book called Flip It and How to Be Brilliant. These are, you know, really good books. And he invited me. He says, you know, I'm writing a book called 17, and I want you to write the health section in that. So that's what I did.
Oh, that's awesome. What book are you reading right now?
What book? Well, I've got a number of books. I'll show you a few because they're on my desk. So one is that, Inside the Body of God. So this is really about quantum. This is about the quantum realm, the quantum world. I'm interested in sort of that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm reading. I'm rereading my book, obviously. There's another shameless plug. What else was the other one I was reading? Oh, this one, yes. That one, Energy Aware by Ildiko Spinfisher. She's a new author as well. And I'm very interested in energy and internal energy and how that flows. So, you know, they're the ones I'm reading from that position. I'm reading some other fiction books as well, but they're the stuff I'm reading from a self-development perspective.
I love that. Like the last one in particular caught my attention. I wrote it down right away. Yeah. So one of the things you said that caught my attention is being kind to ourselves.
Yes.
I can see very easily, a lot of us don't, it's just something where we don't even realize we're almost insulting ourselves all the time. Yeah. It's, I'm not good at that. I'm not this. How did you start? What was that first pillar that you, like hurdle you jumped, whatever analogy you want there, to be kind to yourself? And then how do you keep it up today?
For me, it's all about what I call the feeling code. That's not something I created, it's something I learned a few years ago. And it's that, and for me, this is what holds everything together. And it's the emotion, it's emotional healing. It's understanding when we get triggered and feeling it. I think this is important, the fact that, you know, feelings don't have a language, they're a sensation. So, you know, mindset and thoughts, of course, that there's a language to that, but from an emotional realm, it's a sensation, it's how we feel stuff. And people don't spend enough time inside ourselves. And what I mean by that is, you know, we're distracted by so many external things. They're going to make us feel better. I'll buy this, I'll do that. And that's great. But if you really, really want to master yourself, you go inside, and it's the most scariest place to go. And your body and your ego is the thing that we create to protect ourselves through the stories and beliefs we have. And we'll have our own worldview with that. That will scream at us to protect us from what it deems as unsafe. And that's the main theme of my book, Thrive, is am I safe? The whole thing is explaining why we do what we do. If we have an emotion, let's say we've had some kind of overwhelming emotional experience sometime in our lives, it's usually when we're younger, but it doesn't have to be, then we will deem that as unsafe. And we'll create a story or a belief around that to take us away from that. So every time we're triggered by something similar, our brain takes us immediately to that and takes us away from that. But we could label that wrong. For example, my son, when he was a toddler, 2 or 3 years old, our next door neighbor had a Labrador, a lovely dog, but it bounded over him one day, trying to slobber him to death with the tongue, lick him to death, but knocked him over, and he started crying. Ever since that point, he was scared of dogs, phobia. He had a phobia of dogs, to the fact that up until he was 13-year-old, if we were in a place where a dog was off a leash and it came towards him, even if it was wagging his tail and the tongue was hanging out, he would jump on my back because he was scared of that. So in his mind was unsafe, have to move away. This is what I do when I'm unsafe. But if we can then feel that instead of reacting, pausing and stopping and responding differently, we have that opportunity in that moment to do that. And if we can do this, and then we can feel in our body where we're feeling that sensation, because different sensations in the body mean different things. So in the heart space, for example, if we're feeling, pain in the chest, that's rejection. We're feeling some kind of rejection. In the stomach or the solar plexus, we're feeling shame. So we can feel our emotions are telling us all the time. If we can tune into ourselves, and if we can sit with those sensations instead of running away, which is what our intuition tells us, what our ego tells us to do, if we then turn around and face the adversity, sit in with those emotions, we can let go of these emotions. And when we let go of these emotions and they fade away or disperse, then we can then let go of the beliefs and the stories we attach to take us away from that perceived pain. So physical pain is easy to see because you don't cross a road when there's traffic, for example, but emotional pain is different. And that's the key, because once we can understand those triggers, we can bring awareness to those triggers. We can say, oh, I feel triggered by that. I'm going to sit with this, and then you create space. You actually say, okay, this is important. My body's trying to tell us something. My intuition, my heart space is telling me something. I get to listen, but so many people don't. They just move on and do their thing.
Is there a question from our audience? Is there something that they maybe want to know? Because we haven't asked any of their questions.
I've been watching them. None of the questions have really come in. They've been fascinated by what you're saying, Dean. Now, here's my thing. I actually clicked on your website, and I want to share this with everybody really quick because I loved your first edition, a copy of Thrive. And you're offering, this is the first edition hardback, and if you order now, you get $5 discount or £5 discount. Yeah. And it's a limited first edition hardback. You get the discounted price, but here's the thing that I like: you get a signed copy of the book, and the first 100 people who pre-order will get an exclusive audience with the author to discuss the book and get answers to all your questions. With that being there, have you hit your 100 mark yet? And if not, you did. Darn it! I was going to order a copy right now with everybody here. Like, I was going to make Brett Thornton buy me one. Oh man! I tried.
One, but that's not fine. I'll send you one.
Oh, I would be honored. I'm. Your Thrive book is one that I like. I'm clicking here and I'm going through all the reviews on the website and everything, and I'm getting more and more into it. Like how you've broke it down. Like part 1, it's all your fault. Like that literally jumps off the page at you and makes you be like, well, shit. Like I said, I didn't know my ex-wife was writing a book about me. But like you have an amazing mindset on this, and you've been through different challenges than others, especially the kid thing. Now, I have to ask, with everything going there and everything you're doing, COVID had to have had a slowdown in your mindset. How did you keep yourself thriving during all of COVID?
It's doing the internal work, like being aware of the triggers, like what I've just been talking about. It's that simple. Yeah. Regardless of what's been going externally, that's an external world. All I can control is my response to it. So if I feel like I'm being triggered in some way, or I feel angry or frustrated, then I get to look at frustration. For example, is an expectation not being met. So what was I expecting that's not being met? Otherwise, I wouldn't be angry. I wouldn't be frustrated. I wouldn't be rejecting that. So that's where that tells me where I need to go next. And so then I bring back my, creating space and bring myself back to that calm center. It's like a hurricane's a great analogy of this. In fact, like when there's a trigger, what's the drama? What's the data? What's the meaning? The meaning we're attaching to the situation. What's the emotion we're attaching to the situation? So, the calm center is the eye of the storm. The chaos all around is the drama we create in our lives. We get to observe that, take a step back and watch this happening without engaging it, or we jump right in there and react like, we're emotive beings. We do that, I get that. But the more we can take a step back and control that, the more centered we can be and the more in control of ourselves we can be.
Love that. I love that.
I like that.
What is the kindest thing you've ever said to yourself, Dean?
I love you.
You know what? I tried setting up a joke and he just nailed it in such a different way. Like Dean, that was awesome. How often do you tell yourself? I literally spoke with someone in a meeting yesterday and we were talking about being aligned. and he taught me a trick when I feel like anxious. And I think this was a really cool one. I breathe, and if you're feeling like the breath is up high, take a moment to like plant your feet, put your hand on your lower belly, and then just breathe deep into your belly. Hold it for a few seconds. So how has the breath work altered how you've done things, Dean? Because I use breath work now to ground myself, and I'm curious. You've done so many different things. I'm curious how you use your breath work to help. Oh, look at the smile. He's like, "Oh, I love me, and I got this."
There's a whole chapter on breath work in my book, funnily enough. But essentially, it's diaphragmatic breathing. We've got two parts of our nervous system. We've got the sympathetic and parasympathetic. One's our the fight or flight response, which is the stressful response. The sympathetic. Parasympathetic is our rest and digest, which is our calm center. Breathing is that powerful by diaphragmatically breathe. You see, you can do standing, you can do it lying, you can ground yourself bare feet on grass or sand or whatever you want to do. But that breathing diaphragmatically, breathing deeply, that brings you down into that rest and digest, that calm nervous system faster than anything else. Absolutely. And the simplest way to do this is breathe out slower than you breathe in. If you want to make that as simple as possible. Because there's a lot of ways you can breathe, 4 in, 4 out, and all that kind of stuff. I get that.
What would you say is going to be your biggest challenge coming forwards that you would want to help people through?
For me, it's understanding themselves. Really showing them how to understand who they are and be all that they are. It's not about being more than you are. You can't be more than you are. Rarely people are all that they are, because they limit themselves for whatever reason, whatever beliefs and stories they have. So sort of freeing them from those sort of mindful shackles, if you like, sort of allowing them to, step free and understanding that they're not as, stuck as they think they are.
I love that. Ilse, you got something? I'm going to bring his website back in for people.
I've got on your Instagram. I see there's a lot of positive affirmations and all those things. Ever thought of putting that in a book?
All those quotes there are in that book.
Are they in the book?
5, yeah.
Oh wow! Okay, I like that because I like positive affirmations and quotes and stuff like that. So I like that it's in the book already.
Dude, I'm not laughing because of that. I'm laughing because literally the first thing we did when we were pulling up all your stuff, Ilse goes, "I got his Instagram," and she opens it, looks, and goes, "Oh, I love all his positive quotes." I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, you get to tell him that on air. Make sure you tell him that. Now, Dean, your son is now 17. Going to be 17 very soon.
17 on the 18th, yeah.
Now, I have to ask, and you can tell me, Brandon, it's none of your effing business or anything, but with everything and the complications that you have, where is your son going to go to college? Because I guarantee having a dad like you, he's breaking through on things left and right.
He's actually started college today. He's 16. He's left school, so he's not staying on at school. So he's doing, like, over in the UK, you can 16, 18, you can do higher level education before you go to university. So he's actually gone there. He's studying computer science, something I was really passionate about when I was younger. It's funny how he's loving that as well. But Sam's very aware. He's an aware young lad. He knows he's quite spirited, and he's been, he always has been. So everything's black and white with Sam. There's no shades of grey. So he'll just say it, which is so cool because I want him to be able to express himself. Other things he's still learning because he's still young, but he's on the right track, I think.
What is he inspiring to be when he grows up? What is he studying?
He doesn't know. He just
that's the best.
Yeah, he just wants to do with computers at the moment. There's a story behind that, but I'll not bore you with it. But that's where he is right now. But it's something I always say to him is the fact that nothing is set in stone. If you're doing this course on computer science and you don't like it, do something else. That's not where you're set. If you want to then go and, I don't know, be a paramedic or, I don't know, do accountancy. God, I hope he doesn't. But I can't see the excitement in it. But there we go. That's just me. That's just my opinion, and that's fine.
It's me as well. I also can't see the excitement in that.
So, Dean, the way we end, we only have a few minutes left in the show, but the way we end every show is we speak positive affirmations. This is not going to be hard for you at all. But what we do is we speak the positives for everybody. So I'll show you. I'll go first, Ilse. See how nice I am to you today? I'll go first showing you how it goes, and then Ilse will go. And then you're going to take us out for the day. And it's simple. It's nothing to be too stressed about. You're going to see how easy this is, but it's speaking that into everybody. So here we go, guys. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in today. Kevin, it's good to see you, my man. Guys, it's Wednesday. Whether it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon where you're at, 6 o'clock at night where you're at, or even just you having fun turning this on in the background listening, it is the middle of the week. We call it Hemp Day. We call it Hump Day. No matter what you're doing, do yourself a favor and find the hump that you're stuck on and get over it. Because here's the middle of the week. You have our community here with you, and we want to be able to provide you the best content for you to find yourself, build your best you, and change your effing world. So do us a favor. Hump something good today. Just like Dean did, get through the week and do yourself the best. Dean did his wife, just so I'm clear. That's why they have a kid. But do yourself a favor and make sure to put your best foot out there to get over this hump and know the weekend or the best you is yet to come.
Nice.
The only thing that I've realized after speaking to Kuti and to Dean is that you should stop lying to yourself like me and align your mind to get the results that you want. So I'm gonna juice for 14 days. Is it 11 days? Kuti, I'm gonna juice. I'm gonna take accountability and let people take or check me on my accountability. And then I want to read a quote from our black belt, our UK black belt martial arts hall of famer. And it says, never take criticism from people who don't even meet their own standards. They are below your game. Focus on raising yours. Have an awesome day, guys.
Brilliant. Okay, so my turn. I just want to really say this. If you really want to be brave, if you really want peace, if you really want happiness and you really want fulfillment, stop going out and start going within. It is the most scary, challenging, probably the most hardest thing you will ever do, but it is also the most rewarding. It's always about finding your essence, the pure essence, the essence of who you are, and facing your adversity and having the courage to take that step.
Dean, absolutely, thrive, guys, thrive. All right, Dean, this has been absolutely astonishing episode. It was one of my favorites because of the fact that you brought such a positive energy. I did hear Elsa make the comment about Kuti and juicing that we can hold her accountable, guys. So her and I now have to show up every episode with our juice ready to go. And if we don't have it, I don't know what you guys get to do to us, but pick on us until we do it right, because we want to help each other build the best us. All right. So guys, I say all of that to say, do not hesitate. Do not wait. Go click on Dean's website. I pulled the wrong one up here. Give me 1 second. Boom. Yep. Thrive. Order your book. Get out there today. Make sure you're clicking on it. Go give him love and appreciation. Sarah, Kevin, Sherry, Shauna, thank you guys for tuning in. It is Wednesday. Get over your hump and help get through the day. And if you need to hump someone through that, don't hump me. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We have a great day. See you guys tomorrow morning. Dean, hold on 1 second backstage. We want to catch up with you really quick.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Thanks very much. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Have a good one.